We are going to use the same 4 steps to convert this into a Fischer projection, but they have a bit more nuance when the structure is more complicated. Step 1, we need to figure out our perspective. Which way are we looking at this molecule? In a Fischer projection, the most oxidized carbon needs to be towards the top. Double bond to an oxygen in this carbonyl is considered to be more oxidized than this carbon that is bonded to an OH group. So this has to be the top. Step 2 is to redraw the skeletal structure, but in that less stable conformation. Let's look at this molecular model. We have 6 carbons in a chain. Here they are in black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oxygens are red, hydrogens are yellow. I want to rotate this into our hugging caterpillar conformation that we need to look at for a Fischer projection. But right now we have a carbon backbone that is in a zigzag. We need to rotate carbon-carbon bonds to put it in an arch. So we are going to take carbon 2 and carbon 4, which are both at the bottom of our zigzag, rotate carbon-carbon bonds so that they are up. So for carbon 2, notice hydrogen is coming out towards us. This OH group is going away from us. When I rotate this bond, they flip. OH group is towards us, hydrogen is away from us. Just rotating carbon 1 back to where it was. 1, 2, 3, 4. We also need to rotate carbon 4, but you'll see the same thing. OH group is in the back. After we rotate it, it is in the front. Just rotating carbons 5 and 6 back to where we were. This is pretty much as close as I can get to the Fischer projection conformation, but there's too much steric hindrance to get it right. Look at this. This caterpillar can actually bite its own tail. The groups from carbon 1 and carbon 6 are actually hitting each other. That is going to be important later when we talk about Haworth projections because it actually does turn into a ring. For now, it's just a whole bunch of steric hindrance. But let's rotate this molecule to look at it from the orientation that we need to see our Fischer projection. This is carbon 1. It is going to be at the top with arms on carbon 2 reaching out towards us. And my model fell apart. This is steric hindrance in action. This is carbon 1. This is the double bonded oxygen. This is the hydrogen. Carbon 2, we have the bonds reaching out horizontally like a little caterpillar trying to hug us. OH is on the right. Carbon 3, OH is on the left. Carbon 4, OH is on the right. Carbon 5, notice I couldn't get this perfectly aligned. We got to rotate it to look at it so that the little arms are hugging us. Carbon 5, OH is on the right. Carbon 6 is a chiral with 2 hydrogens that are the same as each other, so that doesn't really matter. But this is just a giant mess. At some point when molecules get too big, you're going to want to rely on the rules and not on a model. Now, it's going to be kind of hard to draw this perfectly curved every time because we're going to have so much steric hindrance that's kind of hard. I'm just going to stretch it out a little bit. Let me just number these carbons to keep everything straight. The first thing I'm going to do is add the groups where the stereochemistry doesn't matter. Like carbon 6 has 2 hydrogens on it. It's achiral. I'm not even going to bother with wedges and dashes. One's on each side. Same with carbon 1. Carbonyl, this carbon only has 3 groups attached. It's achiral. But for carbons 2 through 5, we need to figure out if the wedges or dashes are retained or if they are flipped. So carbons 3 and 5 are at the top of the zigzag, so their wedges and dashes are retained. So carbon 5 has a wedge for this OH group. Carbon 3 has a dash for this OH group. But carbons 2 and 4 at the bottom of the zigzag get rotated to the top. Check this out. This is a wedge coming towards you. This is a dash going away from you. And when I turn around, they've been flipped. This is a wedge, this is a dash. Same thing's happening here. Carbon 4, OH group is not on a dash, it is on a wedge. Carbon 2, OH group is not on a dash, it is on a wedge. Now, because this is a skeletal structure, you might find it easier to go ahead and add all of those implicit hydrogens. Each of these need one wedge and one dash. The ones that are missing are hydrogens. Step 3 is to draw your Fischer projection template with the correct number of carbons. Step 4, add all of the other groups that are bonded to it. This brings us to the next common place where people tend to lose points. It is far more common to draw a skeletal structure with the carbonyl group on the right. Head is on the right, dash is on the left. Then the day of your exam comes and the professor will flip this molecule around. Carbonyl will be on the left. Your person needs to turn around. Then the head is on the left, dash is on the right. So when you are remembering which side your wedges and dashes go on, pair it with the side that the head is on. You can also take your exam paper and just look at it from a weird angle. We have carbon 1 at the top. That carbon is double bonded to an oxygen, single bonded to a hydrogen. Carbon 6 is bonded to 2 hydrogens and an OH group. But when it comes to carbons 2 through 5, we need to figure out which side the wedges and dashes are on. Head is on the right, dash is on the left. So from top to bottom, we have hydrogen, OH, hydrogen, hydrogen. And wedges are going to be on the right, and from 2 through 5, we have OH, H, OH, OH.